Once again, Hunt to the end zone, touchdown. Rivers up the seam, intercepted. Marcus Peters once again.
It's a you hate being the guy that lets down the group, but you just get back up and keep going.
They fought hard. They finished the game. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough in all three phases. And you might say we're the same old Chargers, but right now we are. Until we prove it differently, we are. So we got to go back to work, and we got to get better as coaches and players.
That's winning football on that side of the ball. And, I got to play better and see if we can bounce back.
Throughout 52 years in two cities, the 2018 Los Angeles Chargers felt more like a fairy tale with some magic never yet seen in the blue and gold. The story of this team began just like all great movies do, a rematch to avenge the Week 15 loss that ended last season short.
Rivers calls signals. With an empty, he takes the snap. He scans, he rolls left, looks, guns at end zone. Caught by Virgil Green. Touchdown Chargers. It's the first touchdown of the season for LA. Travis Benjamin, the receiver to the left. I formation and Austin Eckler checks in the game. A toss left to Austin Eckler. Touchdown Chargers. Los Angeles converts their first two drives with touchdowns. A 5-play, 75-yard touchdown drive in 2:08. Powered by 307 yards and 31 points, the Chargers defeat Kansas City, their first Chiefs win in 5 years. After the game, many Chargers, including greats from the past, believe this team was Super Bowl bound.
LT, what do you make of those Super Bowl aspirations for this team and playing with those expectations?
Well, Omar, when you look at this team on paper, it's not hard to see why, because without question, you probably have, I wouldn't say probably, you do have the best quarterback in the division and one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that defense is going to be nasty again.
The Super Bowl we're going to win going to be, we ready. We grinding. Nah, we just going to keep grinding. We're going to grind no matter what. And that's what our main objective goal is, to win a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 53 would be played in Atlanta, a few hours from Melvin Ingram's old stomping grounds at the University of South Carolina. 2018 proved to be Ingram's best season as a pass rusher, but despite the presence of several individual stars, the Charger defense was even worse than a year ago, especially early in 2018. The Chargers found themselves lunging for opposing ball carriers, while the apologists grasped for excuses.
It's a draw to McCoy, who dives over the goal line. Touchdown Buffalo. That was a bit too easy for the Chargers' liking.
After a loss to Buffalo, the Chargers would face one of the league's best teams in the LA Rams. Both would trade touchdowns early and were even tied at 24. But Jared Goff and the Rams would blank the Chargers after the half and would win going away. 442 yards and 43 points for Los Angeles. The Chargers begin the season 1-2 and look nothing like the Super Bowl team many predicted. Quarterback Phillip Rivers, born in Decatur, Alabama, and crafted out of Little, North Carolina State. 15 years and 7 kids later, he still embodies the persona of an old-school country kid, which was on full display against Denver years ago.
Michelle, not exactly holiday cheer in the air down there.
No, absolutely not. Grinches down here. Cutler failing to convert on 4th down. And look at Phillip Rivers starts jawing with him. You can see Phillip in the distance. Here you get a closer look with Matt Wilhelm, the linebacker, waving bye-bye. A couple guys actually pointing and talking. A lot of talking between both sides all night, but this was the nastiest I saw.
In In 2018, Rivers was just as animated, but aired an all-out attack on the NFL. With the Chargers teetering at 1-2, Rivers took it upon himself to will LA back into contention. He set a perfect passer rating against San Francisco, then nearly did it again a week later in Oakland. The season as a whole was impressive for Rivers as the Chargers lost 2 Pro Bowl tight ends and struggled to run for most of the year. Playing the supporting cast, a third-round cast-off Keenan Allen, a small but shifty Travis Benjamin, and injury-prone Mike Williams made up Rivers' leading wide receiver core in 2018. It was far from a juggernaut, but Rivers still managed to throw for over 4,000 yards with the 9th-rated passing game in the NFL.
401 yards passing for Rivers. What a throw!
No early season game quite exemplified the story of the Chargers like Week 9 at Seattle. The result was a turning point in their season.
The Chargers down to the Seahawks 6-5 through 2 quarters. They have 19 yards rushing through the Chargers and only 2 first downs. The Chargers knowing that with a loss they could drop to as far as 3 games back in the AFC West, the division leading Kansas City.
But the Chargers, as they have done so many times under Rivers, were willed back in front, then relied on their defense to close out the Seahawks.
1st and 10, Seahawks on the move. Wilson will scramble right sideline. He gets by 1 man and is stripped up by Perriman at the 35, and Wilson is hurt. Tough pill to swallow for the Seahawks as they, without Russell Wilson, will work with the quarterbacking of Austin Davis. Instead, Seattle will go for it on a 4th and 5. 4-man rush. Davis slings it down the field, caught by Nick Vannon, and he's stripped into the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. It's a crushing 4th down conversion for Seattle. 7:46 left to go in the game. Chargers and Seahawks are tied at 13.
Phillip Rivers was their unquestioned leader in this game, driving Los Angeles to a go-ahead field goal with 1:14 to play.
A gain of 15 yards, one of the longest today for Melvin Gordon, and a Chargers first down.
Down by 3, Austin Davis marched trailing Seattle back into field goal range with a chance for overtime.
And now from 42 yards, this would tie the game at 16 as Sebastian Janikowski readies for what is an important field goal. 42 yards away. Out of the hold from Davis, the kick is blocked. Rolling around at the 30-yard line and recovered by Davis. What an effort turning the corner for the Chargers. Los Angeles is going to win the game here from Seattle on a blocked field goal attempt. That time knocked away by Craig Mager, who had the forced fumble earlier and makes the big play for the Chargers on the road. Los Angeles blocks the game-tying field goal, and the Chargers win it by the final of 16-13.
Until that point, no team had tested the will of these Chargers quite like Seattle in Week 9. Los Angeles developed a never-die mentality in their first comeback win of the season, and most importantly, the Chargers, for the first time this year, believed as a team that they were playoff bound. At 4-4, the Chargers had a tough road ahead, but would carry the momentum of this game through the rest of the season.
With the 3rd pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Joey Bosa, defensive man, Ohio State.
There you go. The first pick of the night that we did not know essentially coming into the draft. It's not an offensive lineman to protect Phillip Rivers. It's not a defensive player on the back end to supplant and fill the shoes of Eric Weddle. It's Joey Bosa. Wow.
3rd down and 20 for the Browns. High drama here from First Energy Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Tyrod Taylor drops. He looks, he is in trouble and taken down by Joey Bosa, his third sack of the game.
Joey Bosa was a havoc the entire year with 15.5 sacks and 27 tackles for loss. Both marks are new Chargers records for a single season. As led by the sensational pass rusher, the LA defense caught fire after the bye week, sparking the team's longest winning streak of the season. Their run continued in Week 11 as linebacker Denzel Perriman, who led the Chargers in tackles, recorded a critical end zone interception to end the half. Then, in the fourth quarter, Rivers led another go-ahead drive, a drive reminiscent of a week ago in Seattle.
Caleb Sturgis to give LA the lead. The hold from Smith, the kick is on the way, it's wobbling and it's good. And the Chargers have taken the lead with 1:20 to go in the fourth quarter.
Raider quarterback Derek Carr would throw for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns against Los Angeles, but little-known Craig Mager would make yet another crucial play down the stretch. This defense still wasn't stopping teams, but made a knack for closing the door in the clutch.
11 seconds, 10, 9. Raiders with one timeout left, they decide to keep it. 5 seconds, 4, 3. Derek Carr, as time expires, throws. It's caught by Nelson, and that will do it. The Raiders run out of time, and the Chargers prevail on the road. Los Angeles is going to win the game, and their 5th victory of the season is absolutely sweet. The Chargers 27 and the Raiders 24.